はじめまして、私はテン・ニコールと申します。2014年、東京国際大学附属日本語学校で卒業しました。Hello everybody, my name is Nicole Teng and I graduated from Tokyo Kokusai Daigaku Nihongo Gakko back in 2014. Nice to meet you. I actually came here pretty late. I was 27. At that point, I was in between jobs and I thought, well, I don't know, nothing to lose. Try it for a new adventure. I had a friend who actually introduced me to the program and it seemed like it was a nice adventure to do together. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to come, but I was able to go to Japan and I'm still here after 9 years. So yeah, it was supposed to be just a year of education. It was supposed to be a year of adventure. Wala, nagstay ako for a longer time. So yeah, I came here for an adventure. When I arrived here 2013, I could read a little bit of hiragana. My only experience was one term of Japanese studies in college. So very basic hiragana, katakana, super basic vocab. And after 5-6 years, nakalimutan ko na lahat. So by the time I arrived here, almost back to zero. Within 6 months of half-day course lang yun sa akin eh. But within 6 months, I was able to pass N3. And after 3 months from passing N3, I was able to pass N2. So within 9 months from the beginning of the course, N2 level, I was able to pass. I did not pursue N1. Until now, I haven't pursued N1. But someday, maybe. Hanggang N2 lang yung goal ko eh. So, 9 months. I was able to achieve it. When I moved here, medyo spoiled ako sa Manila. I would drive, syempre my cars, kasi wala naman planes sa Manila, jeep or car, taxi, and lagi aircon. Here, kailangan mo masanay maglakad. You have to walk a lot. So, yun medyo culture shock. You have to walk a lot. So, when I arrived here, medyo, ano to? But, it was nice. Medyo maliit yung dorm. Everything here is small. The cars are small. The rooms are small. The roads are small. Parang maliliit na eskinita. But, it's very, very safe. When I arrived here, I had morning classes. So again, half-day course lang yun sa akin. So I had morning classes. I would wake up in the morning, take the train. I think it was a 40-minute train ride from where I lived to the school. And I would always arrive 30 minutes before time so I can study. And then after that, eat my bento at school and then do my part-time job in the afternoon. Then go home, eat dinner, study, prepare bento the next day, go to sleep. Medyo boring life. Sometimes I would go to karaoke. Sometimes I would go to anime conventions. But usually bahay lang. Tipid mode. Kasi medyo mahal. But yun lang. It's very safe. And masarap mag-explore. Kasi lahat bago. It's very different from Manila. But I think the first few weeks especially, I think until the first 2 months, maliligaw ka pa. Kasi a lot of things you still can't read and some things you can't understand. Naligaw ako one time from Shinagawa to Tokyo. We should have arrived at Tokyo. We ended up in Shinagawa. And that was a 3-hour walk from 1 o'clock in the morning. And okay naman, safe naman kami. Kasi safe nga naman dito. Pero, yun lang. Fun experience. The classes were great. I had really good teachers. So, my mix, there are older teachers, female teachers, male teachers, young teachers. Some of my teachers were more exciting than others. At the beginning, when you start from the very basic level, mas enjoyable yung exciting teachers. And syempre, yung boring teachers, ayaw mo makinig. One of my teachers, his name was Hoshi Sensei. Sobrang boring niya. As in, we really didn't like his classes for the first 2-3 months. Pero eventually, the more na pahirap ng pahirap yung course, the more namin na-realize na mas madali siya maintindihan. Kasi walang fanfare. Hindi niya kami pinapatawad. Diretso, straight to the point. And yun, especially nung papunta na ng Keigo, pahirap na ng pahirap eh. And passive and active tenses, doon na, mas madali na siya maintindihan. So, I had a teacher na lagi kami pinapatawa. I really liked his classes too. And I had a teacher na mahilig sa Gundam. And he was also nice. He was really young. He was younger than I was, but he was a good teacher. Most of my teachers couldn't understand English. I only had one teacher who could understand English. And she wasn't a very good teacher. So yung mga Japanese teachers na hindi marunong mag-English, mas magaling silang magturo. At least in my school. I had 3 part-time jobs the whole time that I was a student. My first part-time job and my second part-time job were both jobs that Jellyfish was able to find for me. So the first one was sa Yamato, which is parang local courier nila dito. It's parang LBC. But at that time kasi may scheduling conflict. We were supposed to work in the morning. Yun yung slot na meron si Jellyfish for us. But our school was also in the morning. So at that time, at the beginning, wala kaming work muna. And medyo na-rush. So yung naging work namin, medyo malayo na sa Yokohama. And at that time, may issues kasi ako with my hands. I have tendonitis on both of my wrists. So I couldn't really lift heavy things. So hindi ako nagtagal sa job na yon. But I discussed it with Jellyfish, and Jellyfish was able to find another job for me. This time at a sushi restaurant in Odaiba. At the sushi restaurant, I needed a lot more Japanese. But I was lucky kasi half of my coworkers were Filipino and half of my coworkers were Chinese. And I can understand both. I can understand Mandarin, I can understand Tagalog. So, madali mag-communicate with both sides of the kitchen. That was a fun job. I think I was there for 6 to 8 months. And after that, I applied for an English conversation position at GABA. And that was my part-time job until I graduated. When you get here, you can find jobs like that. But at the beginning, sobrang helpful na Jellyfish can introduce you to different jobs. Kasi at that time, Nihongo natin, our Japanese level is still pretty low. So it's pretty nice na naka-introduce si Jellyfish sa atin ng part-time job. At that time, I can't remember the exact figure na kasi it was a long time ago, but I think I earned around 80,000 yen. So roughly 40,000 pesos. Kasi at that time, kasi as a student, you can only work a certain number of hours. I don't remember exactly, pero I think 24, 25 hours a week. Yun yung maximum na we can work as a student. My permission to work kasi yung student visa. And I don't think I did the full 25, 26 hours kasi I wanted to study. So, I would sometimes work Saturdays, sometimes work Fridays, Thursdays, tapos skip Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I earned enough. I earned 80,000, and my biggest expenditure was rent sa dormitory. It was around 35,000, which was also provided by Jellyfish. Maliit, Pero for the time that I've been living in Japan, it's the cheapest accommodation I've had. So if I earned 80,000 and I spent 30,000, 35,000 on my dormitory, I still have at 40 plus thousand. Student health insurance isn't that expensive. I think that's 900 yata per month. I don't really remember exactly. And wala ka pang taxes as a student, so you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about pension or taxes or residence tax. Yun lang eh. Dorm, kasi utilities usually pasok na sa dorm eh. Dorm, cell phone, and health insurance kasi national health insurance dito. So yung tatlo lang. So you'd have, if you work 26 hours, you'd have enough fun money while you're studying. So that was in my case at least. If you want na sagarin yung 25, 26 hours, go ahead. But please don't go over kasi I know some schools are trying to crack down on that. I had Vietnamese classmates who were deported kasi they went so much over. I think they were working like 60 hours. Tapos nag-absent sila sa school. So please don't do that. But yeah, I earned around 80,000 and my expenses were around 40,000 back then. Experience again sa Yamato, it wasn't a lot kasi I didn't stay there for a long time. That one was also graveyard shift. So that one was not very pleasant. Pero yung sushi restaurant job na nahanap ni Jellyfish for me, that was really nice. Well, you learn to work really fast. I lost a lot of weight kasi you have to run around a lot. But also some of my coworkers there are still my friends to this day. In contact pa rin kami via Facebook. And again, half of my coworkers were Filipino, so madaling kausap. And the other half were Chinese. In fact, nung pumunta yung mom ko dito to visit, nakausap niya yung ibang coworkers ko dun na Chinese. It was pretty nice. The work ethic here is pretty good, but you can't slack off. You're always on your feet. Mabilis yung trabaho. The pay is really good. Yung pay dito is minimum wage dito is not per day, it's per hour. So it's really great, but you have to work really hard. So yun. But the payout is really good. So if you work hard, it's worth it. Days off, I think long holidays, my family would come here. My parents would come here. Usually stay here for 2-3 weeks, sometimes 1 month. And we would try to travel, go to Kyoto, go to Osaka, Nara. I think at that time when I was a student, I didn't go back to the Philippines as much. I stayed here. On weekends naman, I'd go to karaoke. And as I mentioned, I cosplay. I go to anime conventions. So sometimes I would go to Comiket, go to Nico Nico Chokaigi. So the big Japanese events. I still go now. Not as much lang kasi COVID. Pero before COVID, regularly I would go. So yeah, until now, karaoke, shopping konti. Because it's a little pricey. Kuripat ako eh. So not as much shopping, but a lot of karaoke and events, anime events. Best memories. Well, I met my husband here. So our wedding. As a student though, best memory I think would be those times that I got lost and those times na kasi adventure. Imagine you have nothing, you only have your cell phone, you have your Google Maps, at least my Google Maps na. You have your Google Maps and you walk at night, walang tao, walang kotse. It's nice. It's peaceful even. And I think second best memory was my first Sakura, yung first season na Sakura, and the first season of Snowfall. Kasi wala tayong snow sa Philippines. So yung unang Snowfall, parang wow! Takbo! And it was fun. And Sakura din. It's, mahirap i-explain it. It's almost magical. Kasi I came to visit Japan before sa tourist. It's not the same. Iba kasi kung may time ka dahan-dahan to just sit down under a tree, eat your food, and have the Sakura fall. It's nice. And I think those are some of my best memories as a student. Career path, after I graduated from the course, I went to work for a Japanese company called Aida Kagaku Kogyo, which was referred to me by Yano-san, who used to be the point person for our school. It was a very stressful job. I was sales and liaison and translator for the international clients. I was the only female and the only foreigner in the whole sales department. I was the only foreigner in the whole company. So it was very, very, the stakes were high, the pressure was high, but I think in the couple of months, I think I was there for a year and a half. For the year and a half I was there, I think my Japanese got so much better. Sobrang nahasa in Japanese ko. It was worth it. But I think at some point, I developed an ulcer. Nagka-ulcer ako kasi sobrang stress. So I had to switch to a job that was not as stressful. And at that time, I was able to find a job teaching English. And that's where I am right now. I'm still teaching as an English teacher at a private school. So I teach at Rikyo Elementary School, which is the elementary school affiliated with Rikyo University in Ikebukuro, Toshima. And it's a great job. I have okay benefits. I have great working hours. I have a great work-life balance. And the kids are amazing. So it's very, very nice. Ang naaalala ko was we had to provide, kasi my mom was self-employed. We had our own business. So my mom had to show the business tax forms. That's what I remembered. And we had to provide a bank statement with at least, if hindi ako magkakamali, at least 1 million yen, just to prove that we are able to pay for the course that I would be going to Japan for. But everything was done by Jellyfish. We just had to bring the document. Si Jellyfish nag-check, si Jellyfish nag-confirm if everything is okay or not, kung may kulang or may kailangan baguhin. But what I do remember is it was very smooth. Mabilis lang parang ilang weeks. And I think we didn't really do a lot of switching. Parang when we submitted the documents, may kailangan lang palitan once or twice. And then that's it. And then we got our permit. Sobrang smooth. Sobrang worth it. At least for me. Advice is to come here, try it out. It's fun, it's hard work, but it's fun. Maraming highs, maraming lows, but if you can find the balance, it's very, very worth it. But you have to study hard. Kailangan mo mag-aral. It's not a walk in the park. Japanese isn't easy. The beginning parts are easy, pero ultimately, pahirap siya ng pahirap. Parang Tagalog din, di ba? Initially madali, tapos pahirap ng pahirap yung grammar. But it's very worth it in the end. And the fact that I've stayed here for this long, I've put down my roots here. Nandito na yung friends ko. We bought a house here. I'm married. My husband and I are planning to stay here. It's worth it. It's safe here. It's wonderful. You'll miss your family. I think yun yung sick a lot. Pero maraming Filipino stores dito. So, you'll be okay. Medyo mahal, but they have all of the foods that we like to eat. So, you won't be that homesick. And may internet naman na, may Zoom na, and you can always call family back home. So there, I suggest come here, try it out, and see where you go from there. Good luck!